Hey all, it's Paul here. It's been a while since I've done a video. And lots of things have changed over the past couple of years, as you can imagine, with the pandemic and stuff. I know I tried to do a few vlogs and that through the pandemic period, and that kind of worked. We moved house and stuff as well, so lots going on. The studio's changed quite a bit. I'm going to do a tour video as soon as I'm comfortable that I've tidied it up a little bit more. But I thought today I'd do a bit of an overview of my pedal board, because that's changed a lot recently, and I think I'm kind of happy with where we are now and what's going on. So I'm going to run you through a few sounds, and I've got two amp setups. I have a physical amp, which is a VOX Escort Lead 50, which I picked up from Yeovil Guitars. It's a solid state amp from the 70s. It's stunning. Plays really nicely. And then I recently picked up the Simplifier, which is an analog amp pedal, and I'm running that in the VOX AC30 style amp. So I'm going to record both from the live amp, which is mic'd up. All my gear details are below. I always post that on every video, so you can check that out. But yeah, I thought I'd just run through a few sounds. I'm going to be using my my PRS, my Custom SE24. I have got a Telecaster and my Gretsch, which is a semi-hollow, and my Les Paul and stuff as well, which give obviously different sounds. But this is just to give you an idea. This is my main electric. My pedal board is set up so that it works for both my electric and my acoustic. When I play acoustically, I use my tuner, my compressor, my looper and my boost pedal, but that's all I use from that combination. And then when I'm playing electric, I use everything apart from the looper, generally live. So just to give you a bit of a sort of check on the neck pickup. That's my my clean tone. And yeah, let's run you through a few sounds. So usually as a standard, I run the Nobels ODR almost as an always-on pedal. It gives me that sort of nice crunchy sound. That's on the neck pickup. Put it on the bridge. You get real nice crunchy sort of. So that's a sort of always on pedal for me. I love this pedal. I think it's one of those things that I didn't realise I needed until I got it. And obviously it's been a staple on many people's boards. The Mini is a great pedal as well. It runs really well. I've had absolutely no problems with it. Haven't made it out live with it yet, but that will be coming up. So beside that, I've got the Mooer Blues Crab, which I adore. I've had on my board for a while. And what I can do with this is basically make a poor man's brown protein, brown amplification protein. So the Blues Crab is a blues breaker. So mixed with the Nobels, I get that real sort of push-driven. Standalone, this is what it sounds like. Onto the neck pickup. So you get that real snap, that real nice thing. And then if you push the Nobels on with it, gives that real push, that real drive to it. And I really love that sound. It's a sound I use quite regularly for my electric playing, whether it's just the Nobels or pushed with the Blues Crab on top. I think it sounds really great. I always have the SkyVerb on. That's a pedal that I leave on all the time. It just gives me a little bit of reverb. There's no reverb in the Simplifier or in my amp, so that just gives me a little bit of a lift. I've got it on a plate reverb. Settings are very low. It just gives that nice bit of a push. So if I go back to my clean sound, turn that reverb off, back on again. So it just gives me that sort of snap. Which I love. So I have an Ibanez Tube Screamer Mini on the board. I love this pedal again. I've had this on the board for a while. What I was doing was running this the other side of the Blues Crab. So I used to have the Blues Crab going and then would use this to push over the top. So on its own you get that. Everybody knows that sort of Tube Screamer push. What do I use it for? I used it before the Nobles and the Blues Crab. So I use it as a sort of mids push to allow me to get more of a solo tone. So that push sort of sounds something like this. So yeah, it gives a real MIDI push and a bit of a bite. So if I take the Tube Screamer out, you get this sort of sound. With it back in. So with the Nobles on and the Blues Crab on, that gives me that sort of... which is really the sort of main core of a lot of my electric playing, whether I'm doing covers or adding to my own recordings. So I recently got the EP Booster by Xotic. This thing is mental. I have it set almost like it's turned off. I'm very, very low. Just gives me that volume boost and that bit of a pickup. So if I have this sort of... I want to sort of push it a bit more. Gives it that real nice drive. And then when I add the Tube Screamer in the front of that, that just gives a pure lead tone throughout. So yeah, then I've got a Mooer YellowComp compressor. So that's my tone without it. Then this just tightens everything up. So I've put that at the head of the board because it's not a pedal I massively use, but sometimes when I've got everything else sort of pushing, just to give that tightness for a lead line or a solo, I use that. I do use it a fair bit when I'm recording, and it's an always on pedal for me when I'm playing acoustic, because I find it just boosts the whole tone and gives that real nice drive. So finally, one of the first pedals actually in the chain is the VolWah by SoniCake. This thing is a volume and wah combined. I really like it. It works really well. Volume pedal does what a volume pedal does, but I think the wah tone is lovely. So the final pedals sort of on the board are my Ditto Looper. As I say, I only really use this for the acoustic. I bought the X2 because I like having a stop pedal separately. So I do my looping with that. And then up in the left hand top corner, I have a Donner ABY pedal. What this does is output straight to my mixing desk for when I put my acoustic through the board or when I put the bass through the board. And then it actually now, which is a new addition, outputs to the Simplifier. And the Simplifier has a through socket on it. So one of those goes directly to my amp. That voids the Simplifier entirely. And then the other one I'm using XLR into my mixing desk. And the idea for this really for me is for my in-ears. And also if we ever go to a gig where having an amp on stage is a problem, I've got a 0 watt ampless option. I'm really loving this pedal. What I'm enjoying doing is actually recording both my amp and through the Simplifier at the same time, and then panning them. That's coming out really nicely. So you do get a bit of a difference through the pedal. So this is my live amp with just the Nobels on. And now very similar thing, but with the Simplifier. I think the Simplifier does a really good job. Obviously it's going to sound slightly different. It's an analog pedal, it's amazing. Obviously it's based more around an AC30. I've got it set to use the EL34 tubes and 2 4x12 cabs. So that gives that real nice beefy sound. It's just been a real gem to have recently. It's helped me lots with recording and I can't wait to get out there live with it. So yeah, really that's an overview of my board. One of the other pedals obviously I didn't go over was the Baby Tuner by Mooer. It's a tuner, it does what it says. Again, all the information, all the gear that I'm using is down below. I'm really happy with this board. I'm not going to buy a bigger board at the moment to put the Simplifier onto the board. I think it sits quite well on the side and sort of gives me my ins and outs kind of nicely. I'm not a big one for ambient sounds, hence the lack of delay. I do have a Rev Echo by Donner still, which is a combined reverb and delay pedal. At the moment it's not making it onto my board. I prefer the SkyVerb, and for what I do, a lot of rock and blues stuff, I haven't really needed that sort of sound, but we'll see what happens in the future. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed. I don't want to make this video too long, but that's my 2022 pedal board. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all again soon.